I aim to have a similar day to what we had yesterday, where we'll try to keep it reasonably short, if that works out for him as well. So just while we're sending him around a little bit, somebody mentioned the other day, you know, the clucking and the kissing noises is kind of universal in the Western world, to kind of cluck to go a little faster. So when we're stepping from a walk into a jog, we'll often cluck. And a canter is a kissing noise, which is you hear me say a lot. Now, Gino's still learning that association with those noises and what he has to do. Just keeping his head towards me, like he went past, but I wanted to make sure he didn't go too directly past and I was in line of his back legs. So going forward is a little bit like stopping. There's a verbal request. So in his case, it's cluck. You could say trot on, you could say Rumpelstiltskin. It wouldn't really matter to him, provided you did the same thing every time. You could teach him Rumpelstiltskin meant go faster. So there's a verbal request, and then, you know, there's a physical backup, and then there's a stronger physical backup until he gets doing what we want. It's very much the same as saying whoa. When I say that, that's all I'm going to do is quit riding him forward. So take the energy and the life out of my seat and my movement. Or no. We even do it a little bit on the ground. You know, we take that energy out. It's great that he stopped and he turned, but he sort of came into me. I don't want him to get in the habit, especially when we're lunging, of sort of coming into this zone too much. When I work a horse, you know, it's not only mentally that I've got to be aware of how much he has to deal with and what his capacity might be, but there's also a physical component. But just like human athletes, you kind of have to go to where you are feeling it a little bit and then just go a little bit more. So you get stronger and more capable of a bigger workload. But you don't go a lot more, because if you go a lot more, you could get hurt, injuries will happen. Not to mention it kind of kills your spirit because everything hurts. So I always keep that in mind when I'm working a horse, but I can't always stay in his physical and mental comfort zone or he'll never grow. It does depend a little bit on the horse. Like, this horse is pretty quiet and he's very intelligent. So he kind of needs a certain amount of input to keep going. But there's other horses that I've worked that were, you know, a lot more skittish. You know, they're a little bit more high strung. And they really benefited from having days of, you know, doing pretty much the same stuff. So maintaining the status quo for a while. We're not being too rough on him for choosing to stop. Just asking him to go again. So if he's very high strung and very forward, it'd be a lot different. Like if I had a horse who was super forward, if he chose to stop, I'd be patting him and saying, you know, it's okay to be lazy. I kind of like it when you take things easy. This horse is a lot less forward. I'm saying, well, nobody actually specifically asked you to stop, so you need to keep going. But I'm still not being overly tough about it. Like, I hold that lead out, and if he follows it, that's all there is to it. There's like a turn and a release, and a turn and a release, until he just kind of follows these suggestions. Oh, oop. So he stopped a little faster than I thought he would, and he kind of stuck his nose out, so I just want him to yield to that halter a little bit. Like later on, we're going to ask him to do that with 2 reins. I'm not going to pull on him to stop, but I do want him to stay soft in his front end. So there's a turn and a release. Or sometimes, like I said, when you're circling, you know, there's turn, 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 turn. Like he's done all of that himself. And then I'm going to ask him. He followed that feel really good. Now he's on a loose rein. So he's done all of that one on his own. G'day, thank you so much for watching. If you could like, share, subscribe, turn on the notifications bell, that would be awesome. Thank you. Cheers. You can see how loose that lead is there, and he's just kind of following that suggestion now rather than arguing with it. And these are the things I'm looking for before I start thinking about, you know, is he ready for 2? Is he ready for 2 reins? You know, is he ready for me to move on with? Again, I kind of want him happy and contented at each stage. You can see as soon as I flip that lead over, he gets ready. Oh, now. He stopped really nice. I never pulled on him to stop, but I'm just going to work this little exercise again where I'd like him to stop and then be soft. Good boy. And then give him a break. Oh. And it's kind of funny, the little bit more is more like just to see if it was a fluke or not. You know, as in, is he distracted? Is he somewhere new? You know, was it a fluke that he took off nice? Or is he really starting to accept? You know, and if he gives me another couple of nice transitions, I'll feel like he did really, you know, just accept everything as it was happening. Oh, good job. So that's great. I think we, you know, really established, because we did just those few extra transitions into a canter, that he's, you know, really coming along and accepting it. Obviously, his overall workload wasn't too big, so it's a great spot to finish. And like we say at the end of the day, and this did literally go through my mind a little bit when I was training horses. At the end of the day, usually when I turn them loose back into their paddock, I'd give him a little rub. He's got a little bit to look at. I give him a little rub around the ears, tell him that I love him, and walk away. So it really was like me saying, you know, I did the best I could, so I'm going to give you a rub, because I know you know, you're doing the best you can with the human you got stuck with. And we kind of know that's the case almost across the board. You know, the horses sort of have to deal with us, and we have to learn how to talk to them in a way they understand. So anyway, it's a super cool journey, and Gino's done for another day. We'll catch you tomorrow. See you then. G'day. Thank you very much for watching. I do really appreciate it. This video of Gino's journey is meant to be more of a entertainment video, not educational, as in it's not a how-to video. All horses react and start differently. If you are going to attempt to start your own horse, you really need to enlist the help of a seasoned professional, or get a seasoned professional to do your horse for you and get them started. It's not an easy job, and it's not a job to be taken lightly, because this is your horse's introduction to the rest of his riding career, and it's really not to be messed with. So take it for what it is. It's a lot of fun to watch. It's been a lot of fun to share, and I really appreciate that you've taken the time to watch it and that you'll keep watching the channel. Thank you very much. Cheers.